Hi, this is The Greatest Story Ever Played. I'm Dan.
I'm Jordan.
And today we're going to be talking about Life is Strange, Episode 1, called Chrysalis. This is spoiler-filled.
Yep.
Whole episode's getting spoiled, so just a forewarning for that. A main thing we want to do is just evaluate the key kind of moral decisions that happen in this episode where, you can go one way or another and it will really impact, the relationships you have with characters and so forth. So we wanted to hit those up. We'll also talk generally about this episode and things related to it. I guess also just for clarity, or being upfront, I've played this game before, but Jordan hasn't.
Yep.
And so I'm not going to spoil anything forward at all. And if there were decisions that I would have ulterior motives in, I didn't make them. Jordan instead would make the decisions because I didn't want to kind of mess with that, but do want to be able to talk about the game. So just a, forewarning on that, or if, at points we'll bring up maybe my original decision versus the decision we made or, anything like that. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, before we actually look at the episode, though, we wanted to do some quick background on the game.
Yeah, so the description of the game is Life is Strange is a 5-part episodic game that sets out to revolutionize story-based choice and consequence games by allowing the player to rewind time and affect the past, present, and future. You are Max, a photography senior, she's also a student, who saves her old friend Chloe by discovering she can rewind time. The pair soon find themselves exposed to the darker side of Arcadia Bay as they uncover the disturbing truth behind the sudden disappearance of a fellow student. Meanwhile, Max begins to have premonitions as she struggles to understand the implications of her power. She must quickly learn that changing the past can sometimes lead to a devastating future.
Okay. And this is developed by Don't Nod Entertainment. This is their second game they've actually made. They made a game called Remember Me that I haven't played, but it sounds like people who played it really liked it, but it wasn't critically acclaimed or anything. Okay. But they've got a game called Vampire that's coming up in May. That's coming out, which I'm looking forward to. It's set you're a vampire in the pandemic 1918 Spanish flu thing going on.
Okay.
And you're a vampire, but you're trying to morally decide whether you should eat people or not.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
Kind of so it seems fun. I'm definitely interested. So. But yeah, so Don't Nod second game.
Cool. Yeah, so we have a variety of characters, at least so far in the game.
Right.
So we'll kind of run through a quick general list of who they are. So Max Caulfield, she's the main character, and she actually moved back to Arcadia Bay to go to Blackwell, which is the, art school she's attending that's supposed to be really good.
Right.
And then there's Chloe Price, and she's Max's former best friend, and they haven't spoken since Max moved to Seattle. And then Victoria Chase, she's a Blackwell student, and she's just a mean rich girl. Pretty much sums her up. She sucks.
Yeah.
Then Kate Marsh, she's a student at Blackwell, and she's religious, soft-spoken, and one of Max's friends. Then Nathan Prescott, he's just a student at Blackwell, and he's just a crazy rich guy. Literally a crazy, super rich guy.
Yep.
Yep. Warren Graham, he's a Blackwell student. He's a nerd, and he's one of Max's friends. I actually liked him a lot.
Yeah.
Then we got David Madsen. He's the head of security at Blackwell, and he's just an asshole, generally.
Mm-hmm.
Mark Jefferson, he's a hipster photography teacher. Supposed to be pretty good, I guess. We kind of get some background on him.
Mm-hmm.
And then Principal Wells, he's just kind of a stern, maybe kind of mean principal.
Right.
So those are the general characters that were in episode 1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So our first major decision that we end up coming to is whether to report Nathan or not. And this happens after Max has her waking dream nightmare thing where she sees a tornado coming towards Arcadia Bay. She goes into the bathroom to wash her face, and while she's there, Nathan shoots a girl.
Yeah.
And she rewinds time to find out. She finds out she can rewind time and then goes back and ends up saving the girl. So pretty crazy start, and after the fire alarm goes off that she uses, Principal Wells asks her what happened in there, what's going on. Mm-hmm. And you're given the options to either report Nathan or to hide the truth. And for us, in our playthrough, we decide to report Nathan.
Yeah. It looks like in your playthrough you did not.
Yeah.
So you maybe give us some background on
why.
So
I guess for me, I hid the truth because I wasn't sure who I should trust or not in the game.
That's fair.
And so I kind of played close to the vest. Mm-hmm. A lot in my playthrough, actually. which we'll end up seeing was different, is that I played a lot more close to the vest and I didn't talk to as many people. I think I just kind of stayed kind of just doing my thing or whatever. And so I hid the truth because I wasn't sure who to trust. But
That's fair.
that was my thought. What made you want to report?
Well, because Nathan was a dick. Like,
Oh, yeah.
he shot a girl. Like, I feel like someone should probably, or I guess he didn't technically shoot her the second time, but he shot her the first time, so he was going to do it the second time.
Right.
I feel like that's kind of crazy that there's just a kid in school with a gun that would shoot someone in the bathroom.
Right.
And I guess the principal seemed generally okay because he told the security guard to, like, leave us alone.
Right.
So he didn't seem to be, like, evil.
Right.
It's like, oh, we could probably at least kind of trust him. I don't know. That's kind of what led me to do. It was like, well, I mean, why not?
And then he showed to be sort of disappointing. Once
Yeah.
I did tell.
Yeah.
Because then he was like, oh, him? No way. It can't be Nathan Prescott.
Yeah, well, because his family was like, what, owns the island or something, or the
Yeah.
bay
Right.
somehow.
They're like super rich.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, we can't. Not him.
Yeah, and then he ends up later on telling Nathan that we told on him.
Right.
It's like, come on, man.
Right. Yeah. Fuck
You're
you,
in a
dude.
position of authority, you dick.
Right. So that was our first one. And also, just based on what PS4 said a week ago or whatever, 66% of people did choose to report Nathan, and then only 34% hid. So we were in the majority in our playthrough there. Of a lot of people did what we did.
Except the first time. You were the
Except for the
minority
first
of
time, I was in the minority.
douchebags.
Yeah, that didn't trust the
that
principal.
lied. Yeah. I can do the next one.
Cool.
So next major decision was Victoria's outfit is what we're going to call it. So basically, she was a dick to us earlier during class, and
Right.
then she took a picture of us.
Yeah, I guess she uploaded something to us on Facebook or whatever.
Yeah, and it was
making
just
fun of us.
a mean picture or something, whatever.
Right.
And then her and two friends were like blocking the door to get into the building, and she's like, we're not going to move.
Right.
So, of course, you can't just move out of the way. Like, it's not real life. So we have to find a way to get past her, to get her to move. So essentially what happens is we use our, like, rewind time ability to, like, change things in the scenario or the environment.
Right.
So basically paint falls on her.
Right.
She starts crying and freaking out and basically is complaining her outfit's, like, thousands of dollars or something.
Right, and it's ruined because it's covered in paint.
Yeah, it was probably ruined.
Right.
Hell yeah. So we, on our playthrough, chose to comfort her. So you could either, like, make fun of her to get back at her or comfort her.
Right.
So I felt like I just felt kind of bad for her. It's like, all right, let's be the bigger person here, and
Right.
maybe she'll end up liking us if we're nice to her.
Right.
So that's kind of what I was thinking with that
Yeah.
decision.
Yeah, and I was looking at the journal after we played, and what it said about this that I thought was pretty interesting. As Max says, but I felt like shit seeing Victoria sitting there by herself on the steps covered in paint. She didn't look like the queen biatch of Blackwell, just a lonely girl as confused as me. I knew I had to find out if she was okay. She was actually nice and apologized. She even deleted the pictures she took of me off the phone, so maybe there's hope for the future. Which is cool. Like, I don't know. I think that internal dialogue Max had, I think really fits with what you said too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this seems like the right thing to do.
Yeah. Otherwise seems kind of harsh.
Yeah.
But maybe deserving. I don't know.
Yeah. I actually chose different on my original playthrough. I chose to make fun of her. And you're really mean. You, like, make fun of her and then you take a picture of her.
Yeah.
And you're like, go fuck your selfie. Or instead back, like that kind of thing. And wax her. And then later you get, in that version, you get a text that says, like, you're fucking dead or something like that from her. So you just hit the rivalry really hard. And actually, again, in this decision, in our playthrough, we were in the majority. 66% chose to comfort her.
Mm-hmm.
Where only 34% chose to make fun of her.
Which I was torn on this for sure. Like, I really wanted to make fun of her. It was really hard not to.
Yeah.
If this was real life, I might have made fun of her. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that in my... I think that I just was fed up with her immediately.
Yeah.
I was like, you were a jerk in class, like, multiple times, and then this happens to you, and you're still trying to, like, be a jerk. Like, you don't let me in my dorm? Like, what's wrong with you? And so
Yeah.
I think I was just, like, fuck you mode. Like,
Yeah, no, she's a bitch, so, like,
yeah, since she's being a bitch. And it was just like,
biatch.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I just rolled that way. The next major decision that comes up is we see David confronting Kate, and he's being pretty like aggressive. Like he's in her face.
Yeah.
It like when we walk up, it seems bad.
Mm-hmm.
It seems pretty bad. So we're given to either take a photo of him harassing her, but we're like stay hidden, or we can choose to intervene and help out and do something about it.
Mm-hmm.
This one was actually kind of unique. We initially did choose to take the photo.
Mm-hmm.
What made you want to choose that?
Well, one, I didn't really want to get involved because he already kind of hated us or questioned us because of the fire alarm thing.
Right.
So I didn't want him to hate us more. And then with the photo, we'd have proof. Like, okay, he's being weird. Like,
right.
What the hell's going on? So that was kind of my initial thought was, well, we can intervene, but then we won't have proof that he did this. Or we can not intervene and get proof, and maybe this will benefit something later.
Right. Okay. But then we ended up rewinding.
Yeah.
So what made you want to...
Oh, yeah. So Kate saw us there, and she recognized that we'd seen the whole thing, and she was pissed. She's like, thanks for helping. Something. I was like, oh, man, that sucks.
Right.
Probably should have done something.
Right.
So, yeah, I think on the rewind, it was like, we should even at least see how she responds if we help her.
Right.
And she responded way better. She's like, thanks.
Right.
I guess better. She said thanks at least.
Right. She was happy we did something at least.
Yeah, but now we don't have proof, so it's like, maybe that'll come back to bite us at some point. Don't know.
Yeah.
I'm sure you know, but...
I found out more, actually, than later in this. But yeah, so I actually did the same thing, though, on my original playthrough, as I just intervened. I think that I was still full head of steam from the Victoria incident.
Yeah.
So I think I was just like, fuck bullies. Like,
yeah, I'm invincible.
Right, I'm invincible. Fuck you, Nathan. Fuck you, Victoria. Fuck you, David. Like, I'm just going at all of them. Mm-hmm. So I think I was just in a weird frame where I was just more contrarian than I normally would be.
Oh, yeah.
So I'd done it right away and had that conversation. But yeah, that makes sense. I think, and this is what a lot of people did. This one was actually very strong. Correlate. 82% of people intervene, whereas only 18 took the picture. So we were definitely in the majority.
That's interesting.
For that. Yeah, it must be that people didn't feel like it was doing enough. Like,
yeah,
taking a picture, like if we're just hiding.
I guess that's fair.
I guess.
Yeah, which, I mean, after seeing Kate's response, it's like, okay, yeah. Does it say who rewinded? Does it give you a percentage of that?
It doesn't. I
wonder if a bunch of people did it and then rewinded and did what we did.
Probably, because I definitely felt bad when Kate Kate was like, thanks for helping. We're like, oh.
Like, if she hadn't known, I wouldn't have cared. You know, it's mostly her response that was like, okay, redo.
Right. No, yeah, that's true. So after this moment, we end up going out to the parking lot, and we find Warren, and we're talking to him for a second. And then Nathan Prescott tries to attack us, and we end up getting saved by the girl with the blue hair who got shot in the bathroom. And
that we saved after rewinding time.
Yep, yeah. And it's Chloe.
Yep. Surprise.
Surprise, it's Chloe. And so we end up getting in the car with her and running off to her house. It's awkward. You know,
yeah.
Reconnecting, it's awkward because you haven't talked to her.
Like 5 years.
In 5 years since you moved. And I actually looked in the journal. I looked in the journal to see how long you've been at Blackwell. And I think it said you got in Blackwell at like the beginning of September, and it's like the beginning of October now. So you've even been in town for a month, and you still haven't said anything.
Yeah.
Like, Max, you fucking up.
Yeah, kind of bad.
Yeah, not good. Really avoiding it. But so then they go back to Chloe's house, and they have this conversation that I thought was pretty important, just kind of Chloe and Max's background and really, I guess, what their past relationship has been / experience or whatever. And so I put like an extended quote in our notes that we're going to read back and forth just because I thought this is pretty valuable information for the characters. So
who do you want to be? Do you want to be Max or Chloe?
I guess I'll be Chloe.
Okay.
Cool. Chloe. No, I guess I won't say that, but hey, give me that.
Sorry, I wasn't trying to be nosy. Obviously, she was a good friend.
That's putting it mildly.
So, who is she? Do you mind talking about her?
Rachel Amber, she was my angel. After my dad died and you moved, I felt abandoned. Rachel saved my life.
Man, I had no idea.
Well, you never made much of an effort to find out. I was 14 and we were best friends.
I never forgot, even if I was an asshole and didn't keep in touch, but you had Rachel.
Rachel had my back. We were going to kick the world's ass. You would laugh at how different we were. She wanted to be a star.
She looks like a model.
That was her plan. Our plan. Get the hell out of Bigfootville and into Los Angeles.
So what happened? Did your folks, your mom, try to stop you?
My mom was too busy hooked up with Sergeant Shithead.
I feel the love. Now, when did Rachel actually disappear?
6 months ago. She just left Arcadia without a word, without me.
How do you know she disappeared? Maybe she wanted to start a totally new life.
Unlike you, she would have told me, okay? Something happened to her.
I believe you. I'm just trying to get all deductive.
She said that changed her life. Then poof.
You haven't heard anything from her since.
Like everybody in my life, my dad, you, and Rachel, gone. Can we put on some music now? So I think that it's just, I think this is just important because we get we see that Chloe's been obviously abandoned a lot. And even when we meet her, she's getting shot. Like,
yeah.
Her life's been hard. Like,
yep.
you get that, but then also you see that, like, Max probably wants to do the right thing, but has totally fucking blew it for 5 years.
Yeah.
Like, not even texting or
Mm-hmm.
even when you got there, you didn't do something. Like, I don't know.
It seems like kind of her personality, though, just to be indecisive and kind of aloof and shy and quiet.
Right.
So I imagine she was like, oh, man, I had to move away. Like, I feel like shit. Like, I feel really bad for Chloe. I'm just,
I feel bad for me, too.
Yeah, I'm going to let her talk to me. Like, maybe there's just, she can get a hold of me. She's probably mad at me. Whatever.
No, right. And even in one of those discussions we had earlier with, I think, Juliet, maybe, she was like, do you even know my last name?
Yeah.
And we guessed wrong, and we had to rewind and get it right. But
yeah.
It was like, oh, man, like, it does seem like that is how she is, which is not a great trait, and it's unfortunate, but it's good we got saved by Chloe and all that
yep.
stuff. Yep,
and got to save her.
And got to save her. And then actually after this, she finds out we saved her, and so there's some bonding that we seem more good.
Mm-hmm. Which is cool. And I guess one little tidbit, too. So Chloe mentions Sergeant Shithead in this dialogue.
Yes.
So he's actually the security guard from Blackwell. What's his name?
David.
Yep. David Madsen.
Yeah.
So her stepdad's that douchebag at school was confronting Kate and like kind of confronted us about the bathroom thing and
right. And our next decision actually involves his douchebag at full level.
Yep, he sucks.
Yeah.
So the next decision is we're at Chloe's house. We're chilling. This is where the conversation takes place. And then her stepdad gets home, and he starts like yelling like, "Where are you? Someone here!" And we have to hide in the closet, but we can like kind of see through like little slits in the door. So he comes in and like starts accusing her of smoking weed, and she's smoking weed. So he's like, he's not wrong,
Right.
But then he slaps her, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Which is like, okay, this guy's fucked up.
Yeah.
So we have a choice to like, okay, bust out of the closet and defend Chloe, or say, oh, that's our pot. Chloe was holding it for us, or something, or to stay in the closet because Chloe told us to. So we actually chose to stay hidden. But there's a couple other options. There was take the blame for Chloe. You can blame Chloe. Or you can just come out of hiding just to, I guess, intervene and not take blame or blame anybody. So we were staying hidden. That was 35%. And the rest were kind of divvied up even. 31% was just intervening. 32% was taking blame for Chloe. And then a small fraction of 2% of the people blamed Chloe for some reason. I don't really know why you would do that.
Yeah, that's really surprising.
Yeah.
Especially that I imagine that doesn't go well.
No, I don't know how. I don't know what you would do.
Yeah, why wouldn't you rewind?
Yeah, great question. Maybe they're trying to be dicks. It's like their 10th playthrough. Like, all right, fuck it. Let's be the meanest person we can be in every scenario.
Right.
Which would be kind of hard. I don't know if I could do that.
No, I don't think I think I would like seeing it, but I don't think I could actually play it.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Being a dick for everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what made you stay hidden? Why'd you choose that?
Well, one, Chloe told us to stay hidden. Like,
right.
She was pretty straightforward, like, hide. It'll be way worse if he sees you. Okay, I'll take that as fact. It'll be way worse if he sees us, even if she's getting like yelled at and kind of gets hit.
Right.
It was definitely bad, but it didn't seem bad. It's not like he was like beating the shit out of her. I guess if that was happening, I'd maybe jump out. I would jump out, I guess. But I don't want to say it wasn't bad.
No, it's definitely terrible.
But it didn't seem like enough that we should break Chloe's instructions of don't come out, essentially. You know what I mean?
No, that yeah. In my playthrough, I also stayed hidden in my original one too, so I did the same thing. And I think that was my thought. I think that one hit, I was really surprised by it. I didn't expect that at all.
Yeah.
But also that since she said it would be way worse, and so I think I was sort of afraid. I was like, well, what if like more bad stuff happens or whatever?
What if he like beats the shit out of her in front of us?
Yeah, or beats us up.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And so I think being afraid, I was like, I'm going to stay hidden. This seems like it'll go better. And since she said stay hidden, it'll be worse. That's why I chose that too.
Yeah, I think we're on the same page there.
Yeah. I looked at the other options a little bit, and I guess on the intervene one, if you intervene and it's when you took a picture, you can show the picture and then he just leaves. He like gets pissed and leaves.
Oh.
And he's like, you're always nosy, and then like, but it's kind of like
interesting.
Stuck in his tracks.
Okay, so that's where the picture.
Yeah, I think that's its
handy.
main value.
Interesting.
Yeah, I didn't know that since I've never taken the picture, but
yeah,
I was looking around online a little bit. So I think you can do that, and you're like, you harass everyone or something. Look, I saw you harassing a student at Blackwell, or that kind of thing.
Interesting.
Yeah, so that's kind of interesting. I think the other ones he just gets more mad or is like, I'm watching you even more kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Because at least now he doesn't know that we know Chloe.
Yeah.
At this point, which seems good since he's so fucking crazy.
Yeah, he's Chloe's dramatic and like
right.
Is definitely a type of person to hate her stepdad just based on her personality. Not saying that's right or wrong, just that's what she would do. But he definitely deserves to be hated, like for sure.
No, right? Yeah, she's definitely rebellious, but then he's a piece of shit. So makes sense.
Yep. He also had like a file in the garage of like random pictures and evidence of other students. Just creeping. He seems like a creeper.
Yeah, bad vibes.
Definitely weird. Yeah, definitely real weird.
Yeah, totally agree. So yeah, that covers the main kind of 4 decisions. So then we kind of wanted to wrap up by just hitting up some general thoughts regarding the game or this episode, specific things. So I guess actually just coming off of the hitting, this episode had a lot of heavy content.
Yeah.
More than I remembered even. So you've got David hitting Chloe. That's pretty crazy. We find out from Chloe that Nathan like tried to rape her maybe or something. Like he drugged her and was like taking pictures of her.
Yeah.
And she like kicked him and managed to get away or something, which is why she was talking to him in the bathroom, because she was going to like try to extort money from him. Which is
not great, but
yeah, I mean crazy, like just a really crazy thing. And then this I didn't even know. I didn't talk to Juliet, but we found out Juliet had an abortion because she was pregnant and then wasn't. I didn't even know that when when we found out. That's the first time I didn't talk to her. Yeah, which is crazy. Like, so I was just really surprised how much heavy stuff they got into, and even just like heavy things that people or even high schoolers can go through. And they were like, episode 1, we're like bringing it all up still, which I don't know. Usually, I mean, like the episode felt intro-y to me for sure. Like we were meeting people, but it still had like heavy shit going on too.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, it was like intro, but it was intro plus a lot, Right. And it was more than just. It was more like, I don't know if I'm assuming the abortion stuff doesn't come up again, but even that was like a lot of information or like character backlog that you didn't necessarily need, but they provided.
Right.
So like I like that a lot, and that's actually one of the things I was thinking about was like on games like this, or just games that there's research you can do or backstories you can find, and like history of stuff.
Right.
I always just want to go like balls to the wall and get everything. So we didn't actually on our playthrough. But I kind of like going back. I mean, I feel like it would take a couple playthroughs to actually know everything.
Right.
Like your example of you can pull the picture out and use it against, I forget his name again. David. Yeah. God. Against David. Like, I don't know how you know that other than doing it. Like there's so many like little subtleties like that I think make this game really cool. And I agree about making it feel like high school. Maybe aside from like typical high school, aside from like the abortion, getting shot in the bathroom, and like I don't know what else. Yeah, maybe aside from those two things, it's just like, okay, this is kind of like high school. Like they did a pretty good job of, especially with Max's like inner thoughts and dialogues. Was like, okay, I can see a 17-year-old girl thinking that stuff. It was pretty good job.
Yeah, I thought they hit the high school interactions a lot too, like her being nervous, or you seeing people being jerks to each other, or like all of that. Like it felt like high school. It seemed like it. Yeah,
because you can go around. You don't have to talk to everyone, but you can like click A on somebody or X on somebody, and it'll give you like her thoughts about them, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Nice little touch.
Yeah, I like that too, and a good way to like sort of meet some characters as you go. Like, oh, here's this person, and like, oh, this is the thing they think about him, or whatever. Like,
yeah, it was interesting.
Yeah, it's helpful. Like more for the world or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another thing that I like a lot about this game is just identifying with Max a lot, personally. Like, I'm pretty introverted. I thought about this week, and I don't know why I didn't realize it, but I moved when I was probably Max's age when she moved away from Chloe.
Yeah.
And, I mean, technology was different, but, like, I didn't talk to my friends from back then anymore almost at all. Like, probably I am them later, but it was even several years. I am, like, happened a few years after I moved or something.
Yeah.
So it was like, all right, see ya.
That'd be difficult, yeah.
Yeah, which is kind of crazy. Like,
Uh-huh.
but that I was, like, the Max there very much. So, like, I was just like, all right, see ya.
Yeah.
Which sucks. Like, I was just like, oh my gosh, I identify with that. But I think it's cool that, yeah, you know, because I'm obviously different. I'm a 29-year-old guy. Like, I'm obviously not in the same life stage as Max, but, you know, some of those things I think are identifiable, which is cool. Like, that she's a character that does that and that they wrote her that way. Versus, you know, like a lot of video game characters we play are like, you know, Nathan Drake or something like that. He's like, you know, a badass and like all that stuff. And I'm not like him really, but
yeah, well, no one is.
yeah, really, I guess no one is. But, you know, like that kind of thing. So I thought that's cool, like having a character that's that way, that you play as.
Yeah, that was interesting. I mean, that kind of adds to the authenticity of like high school. Like I feel like that's a lot of people, not necessarily them moving, but introverted, kind of shy, confused. You know, like that's probably most people in high school, except maybe a few that don't want to be that way, I guess. But
more alpha dominant type, or you know, like that type of thing. Like
yeah.
Chloe obviously seems like she's rebellious no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
But even like Victoria seems that way based on how she was when you comforted her.
Yep.
Like she was mean, but it was still a mask for her confusion.
Yep. And I like that you kind of know that because Max knows it, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Or Max figured it out.
Right, and by the choice you made to be nice.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think that in my playthrough. I was just like, she's a bitch.
Yeah.
Because I was mean back. And,
maybe we'll be friends with her at the end of our playthrough.
No, right. It could be totally different. Which is cool. Like, that's awesome. So, I don't know. I really like that about this game.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's super cool.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I guess we have a couple points here that I'm just going to kind of combine.
Oh, yeah.
Generally, I think this is, again, that would probably take a lot of playthroughs to get everything out of it. Even with like the abortion thing, you didn't know that, and not that it's a big deal or like changes the game much at all, but I bet there's lots of things like that we missed even on our playthrough, which was what, your second or third
my
playthrough?
second one.
Yeah, so it's like I'm sure there's probably more things we could gather that we just didn't have time to or didn't even think about.
Oh yeah.
So like I think that'd be kind of cool at some point to go back again and just commit to looking at every single thing in every single room.
Oh,
and getting like a full picture of everything she thinks, or
no, yeah,
that'd be pretty cool.
I think that with that too, that's cool or different is that like I didn't know that about Juliet, and that she, you know, had to make a hard decision and stuff like that, and it seemed like based on the note that we found that her boyfriend was kind of sucked.
Yeah, he just kind of left.
Yeah, and that kind of thing. I think if I knew that, maybe it would have impacted interactions I would have had with her later in the game, but because I didn't know that, like that's a big deal. Maybe I would have approached her different. So I'm interested to talk to her in future episodes in our playthrough, because that's been a thing, you know. Mm-hmm. Which is, I don't know, that's awesome.
Yeah, for sure. And then another thought I had was like the journal. We didn't read much about it, actually, like at all in our playthrough, but you have a little snippet here, and I just want to say before I guess you read it.
Oh yeah.
That'd be cool to read through too. Like I could see getting kind of lost in all the interesting, I don't know, facts about different characters and what she thinks about him and all that stuff.
Right. I took one snippet off of it that I just liked, that I thought was fun to comment on. But so she wrote this about Warren's flash drive of like a bunch of movies and stuff he gave her, and said, I watched a few episodes of Doctor Who and The X-Files, binged Full Metal Alchemist, then Faster, Pussycat, Kill, all kinds of Amazon Women in Black and White, badassery, Tetsuo, a total cyberpunk trip with amazing visuals, and Scott Pilgrim for about the millionth time. I like this because, again, it sets it in like a real world thing. I haven't watched all of those things, but I love X-Files. I've watched all of those.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I've seen Scott Pilgrim. I think that didn't you and Skinner watch Full Metal Alchemist?
Yeah.
Is that
me, Skinner, David, Habib. I think Kevin got into it too, kind of. You had a bunch of roommates that watched it back in the day.
Yeah, when we lived together, they were all watching it. And I watched a couple episodes, and I was like, I know I'm going to get sucked in.
It's actually, it's pretty damn good. Like,
I want to watch it. Like, I was just like, at the time, I was like, I can't commit to watching this anime. Like, my life's not ready for it, but I want to watch it. And I think it's on Netflix, so I think I might need to.
You have to watch, in my opinion, I think most people's opinions, there's Full Metal Alchemist, like the regular one.
Right.
Then there's Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. That one's better.
Brotherhood's better?
Because it's, I don't know if it's longer, but they kind of, it's more true to the manga from what I've heard. I'm not super familiar with it, but that's the one we all watched. And it was,
you guys watched Brotherhood? Mm-hmm. Okay, that was the one that I watched a couple episodes with you, with the big like iron guy and stuff like that. Yep. I liked what I watched, but
yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, so I don't know. I really like that though. It sets it in a place and time. You even get a feel for like the kind of shit she's into. Mm-hmm. Like, okay, I like this like sci-fi nerdy kind of stuff, and I'm like, cool, me too. I'm in. Even the ones I haven't heard of, but then I'm like, oh, maybe I'll want to check those out since this character likes it. Who seems to like what I like? Like, I'm interested.
Yeah, and I could totally see her, based on what we know about her in this first episode, liking just all of these things. Right. One, because I kind of like all of them too, so it makes sense. I haven't seen Scott Pilgrim versus the World yet, but I've seen trailers for it and it looks weird, but actually pretty good.
Yeah, I think I only saw it once back when it came out, so I'm not as versed in it as I'd like to be. But
yeah, I guess I'll just say real quick, I really like the dialogue.
Oh yeah.
And how the game feels. I think you might have more to say about that. But one thing that I really noticed through our playthrough of this versus other story-based games we played, you know, like our playthroughs of Walking Dead, Season 1, 2, and mostly 3, and Wolf Among Us, I feel like we decided pretty quick who we liked and who we didn't like who was going to be like, you know, our guy, like we're going to decide behind this character the whole time.
Right.
I didn't really get that in this game so far, which I kind of liked. It's not as... I feel like in some games they kind of throw you a person like, okay, you're going to like this person probably.
Right.
In this game, it wasn't really that way. Maybe that's just me, but I feel like I'll probably like Chloe because I like rebellious people, but I'm not sold on her yet. Right. And then like Kate seems okay, but she's... seems like something weird's kind of going on with her based on like how David had confronted her. Right. And I forget his name.
Warren.
I like Warren a lot, but we haven't seen enough of him to be like, all right, like my guy, you know?
No, yeah, that's true. It's definitely kept it more gray or like ambiguous versus like other games where like, okay, this guy's kind of our sidekick character. Yeah. And we're gonna side with you no matter what.
Yeah. Unless something crazy happens.
Yeah. Unless you do something evil, like we're with you. Even if you're kind of wrong.
Mm-hmm. Like, we've played most games that way, I think.
Yeah, I feel like we usually find a person who we get attached to. And, this one, it definitely was a little more gray, where we're like, we met a lot of people, and we like some things about all of them. Mm-hmm. Or some of them, at least. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, another thing I really like about this game is I like the soundtrack a lot. I'd listen to the soundtrack on my own now. Like, there's enough.
Do you?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, probably like half of the songs from this I like have on playlists.
That's
like,
crazy.
Yeah, they're just good, which is awesome. Like, I didn't expect that. I wasn't planning on that happening with the game, and instead it was like, cool. Mm-hmm. I'm in.
It just, for some reason, like, just fits the game itself. Like, the good music.
Right.
And kind of fits Max, too. Based on, like, the TV show she likes, I'm like, okay, you probably like the kind of music that I probably like. Right. And they probably play the music that she would probably like, I guess.
No, yeah. It definitely, I think it captures the whole feel. It's like how Max is, living in Oregon, it feels right, like how it looks. All of it just kind of goes together. And even how they use it. Like, I like the very beginning of the game where, like, we put on our headphones and we're walking down the hallway. And it's like a video for a little while. But it was, like, perfect. Like, that's how, like, a good TV show would look, I feel like. Or something like that with, like, the visual and, like... you know, Don't Nod Entertainment or whatever, and she like starts walking down, totally like, you know, the beginning of a TV show or something. Like, I don't know, it was awesome.
Which is, we're kind of like, playing through episodes of a TV show,
right?
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah, totally, and I think that's what's so cool about these kinds of games, anyways, that you're really interacting with this TV show together.
Yeah,
just awesome,
very fun.
Yeah,
I don't think I have anything else. I mean, there's probably other things I could squeeze out, but I mean.
No, I'm good with that. Yeah. I think that covers, this episode for me too. So, come back next time. We're going to do episode 2 for Life is Strange. And yeah, send us in feedback too about this. Our email is TheGreatestStoryEverPlayed@gmail.com, and I believe our Twitter is @StoryEverPod.
It is, yeah.
So yeah, check those out. Let us know what you think about episode 2, especially those key moral decisions. What'd you choose? Why'd you choose it? Hopefully, ideally, I would love to see this show be more of a discussion with your comments and our views kind of in those decisions. Because a thing that I've really noticed in these kinds of games is that people choose drastically different things from each other.
Yep.
And you're like...
And have good reasons to do it, too.
And
or bad, which are also kind of funny, so...
Yeah, but even strongly why they felt that way.
Yeah.
I know that, like, in playing some of the Telltale games or something like that, I made a decision and I felt so strongly about it. Like, this is the way we do it. And then I'd get on Reddit or something and someone made the opposite decision.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? Like, how could you?
Yeah.
Like, no way. This character would totally do this thing I did. But really, all of our own experiences and our decision making kind of, I don't know, it really makes the story ours. And so, like, my decision's canon to me, but your decision is also canon to you.
Yeah.
And why you did it is important. And sometimes there's just fucked up shit that happens. Those Telltale games have timers. So I know we had decisions where we made the wrong one because we had to choose immediately.
Yeah, it sucked.
Yeah, and we're like, well, that's how it goes.
Yep, just keep playing.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think that's really cool. So we'd love to hear from you, though. And yeah, I guess we'll see you next time for episode 2.
Yep, later.